Not very dark in that.
We are live, sir. Good noon, everyone. I welcome all the viewers here. The second talk on the Smart India Hackathon. This talk is going to represent the doubts from the college and school SPOCs. We have here Dr. Abhay Jere, Chief Innovation Officer, Ministry of Education Innovation Cell, Government of India. I welcome Dr. Abhay Jere here for this second talk with the college SPOCs. Sir, you start, sir.
Shall we wait for some more people to join?
Yes, sir, we can, sir.
1 or 2 more minutes, we can.
Sure, sir, sure.
We don't have many people actually joining. Wait for some more people to join. Whether we had sent a reminder today?
Yes, sir. We have sent the reminder yesterday night as well, sir.
Okay. Okay, so let's start now. Okay. I think.
Sure.
So, thank you, Shubham, for organizing this session. I'm also thankful to our innovation director, Mohit Gambhir, and our innovation officer, Salim Moim, your entire team, for conducting this session. And I believe that this session will be very, very critical for SPOCs, single point of contact, which we call SPOCs, from all the colleges across the country, so that they can effectively participate in the Smart India Hackathon 2022, which we have already launched. So, dear friends, we want to make this Smart India Hackathon biggest ever. We have now almost crossed the third wave of pandemic. I hope that you people are now great, healthy, and very, very enthusiastic. You must have joined your schools and colleges, and hope that soon we will get back to normal. The things will back to normal as they were before the pandemic. So, if we have to move forward in this direction, although the timelines have got skewed for Smart India Hackathon, usually we conduct the hackathon in month of March or April, but due to this pandemic, we had to actually redesign the entire schedule, and now we are going to have our hackathon in month of June and July. So we have already launched the problem statements on 11th of January. We announced the problem statements. Currently, we have problem statements on our SIH, that is SIH website, that is sih.gov.in. We have more than 537 problem statements from 65 plus different organizations. So many organizations have come together, like ISRO, DRDO, large number of ministries, large number of departments. And I will actually request you all to take a look at some of the very interesting and exciting problem statements which we have listed. And we hope to get really good innovative solutions from our youngsters during this entire hackathon process. But to ensure that this hackathon goes ahead very systematically and is really successful, we need to have single point of contact in each of the participating institute. And we want to have a responsible person who is single point of contact for us, so that the information which we will disseminate from our side goes systematically out to all the potential participants. Also, the single point of contact act as our representative within the organization and help us identify, select, nominate good ideas, so that the centralized system does not get burdened with nonsense submissions, and we get good ideas which we can give it to evaluators. Evaluators also feel excited while evaluating these ideas, and eventually for the grand finale we will have good set of teams coming forward and competing, so that the ideas which will propel out of this hackathon will have implementation potential, as well as even startup potential. So, from that perspective, SPOCs are the most important, I would say, SPOCs are the most important connection points or agents in this entire initiative. You are our bridge between our students, our potential participants, and the organizing committees or the organizing teams. Okay, so I really expect SPOCs to help us in every possible way, and this year we assure all the SPOCs that the best performing SPOCs will get certificate of appreciation from our side, which is duly signed by an official, a very, very senior official from the ministry, as well as Chairman AICTE. So we will take care, we will appreciate your efforts in supporting us, and you will get certificate of appreciation from us. So the question you really need to ask, or people will start asking, is who can become a SPOC? We only want, because this is a very serious business, we only want senior faculty to become SPOC for SIH 2022. We don't want junior faculties. We don't want students, PhD students, master students, or any other research fellows to become SPOCs. We want senior faculty to become SPOCs. And SPOCs should go ahead and register themselves on our platform. The SPOC registration module is currently live. So please go on our website or our web portal and register. But while registration, please ensure that you upload an authorization letter, because we want the SPOC to give us a letter saying that the institute has authorized this faculty member to be a SPOC. Otherwise, anyone will go ahead and register and try to claim themselves as SPOCs. Last year, we also identified a few people who had actually photoshopped some of the letters. Okay, we could identify them. So what we do is that once you register as SPOCs, once you upload the authorization letter, our team within the ministry, our team within our partner organizations will physically or personally validate that letter. We will see that letter. We will examine that letter carefully, and then our team will go ahead and approve you as SPOC. Because initially we were not doing all this. We were trusting you. But many people tried to game the system, you know. And at all India level, it becomes very, very difficult if people start gaming the system. So you need to upload an authorization letter. Please upload an authentic authorization letter, because now we have all the tools with us which can go ahead and identify a photoshopped or a morphed letter. Okay. So we are also not, our team is also quite tech savvy when we are organizing all these things. So don't try unnecessary gaming the system. But SPOC registration is mandatory for college institutions, or higher educational institutions. It's not mandatory for schools, but it is mandatory for college institution. But for schools also, we want to have a single point of contact, and hence we encourage all the schools to go ahead and nominate a SPOC. So SPOC registration process is more or less the same for both. So you should go ahead and register. Once you register, my team, as I said earlier, twice or thrice, will validate the information which you have given, submitted, and then will approve you as SPOC. Once you are approved as SPOC, you actually start your functioning. We want maximum participation for this hackathon from each college. But when we are saying we want maximum participation, we also want to ensure that quality is not compromised. In our earlier two editions, we were allowing unlimited entries from colleges because we were popularizing the concept. But we started getting a lot of junk. And it started becoming extremely difficult for us to identify one good idea from a lot of junk which we are getting. So the SPOC will have a major role in filtering these ideas at the institution level. So once the SPOC is registered, we recommend all the colleges to go for an internal hackathon. SPOC will lead that entire initiative. And SPOC will help us select 10 teams which will be nominated directly and 5 teams which will be waitlist teams. So in total, through this internal hackathon, which SPOC will do or which the SPOC will lead, we will get 15 teams, or we will require 15 teams from each institution. 10 teams directly go as actual submissions, and 5 teams, as I said, will be waitlisted teams. We will include them if we feel that we haven't received enough number of ideas for the problem statement. Okay, so this is very, very critical. Then we will also, again, listen this very carefully, my dear SPOCs and my dear viewers. We will open our portal for actual idea submission on 10th of March. So before 10th of March, your internal hackathon should have happened. Your team selection should have happened. You know who is the team leader. The team leader has to go and register on the portal along with the team, start submitting ideas, and that submission will happen from 10th of March. So your initial, all the processes of selection of teams and internal hackathon ideally should complete before 10th of March so that you will get enough time to submit your idea in the best possible manner on our portal. Also, one important thing which you must remember this time, that we are allowing now only 125 entries per problem statement. Till last year, what happened was that for some problem statements, which we say were easier kind of a problem, we received 1,000, 2,000 ideas. And majority of them were same. It was very, very difficult for us to actually identify which one is better than the other because majority of them were same. The approach was same. And it became an unnecessary burden on our system to actually go through these ideas. And for some good problem statements, which were below in the rank, or which were not, which students didn't look or didn't pick, only received four ideas, 5 ideas, 10 ideas. So to minimize this discrepancy, we decided that we will only allow 125 submissions on first come, first serve basis for each problem statement. So when you are picking the problem statements, look at how many submissions have been done before and plan your strategy accordingly. Just don't go for the problem statements which are visible at top. Also look into other problem statements which are not easily visible. Go check at different departments. Every department has given really interesting problem statements. So try to think which problem statements are difficult to crack. And if you can crack a difficult problem statement, then your chances of selection for grand finale are going to be very, very high. So don't try tackling an easy problem statement. Try tackling the toughest problem statement. Because for that problem statement, you will receive, or we will receive, minimum number of entries. And then your chances of getting selected for the grand finale go up substantially. Because at the end of the day, we are going to select 5 or 6 teams per problem statement for the grand finale. So if a problem statement has received 100 ideas, then look at the chances of getting selected within those top 6 teams. But if a problem statement only receives 15 ideas or 20 ideas because it's a tough problem statement, then calculate the chances of selection. Selection chances are going to be very, very high. So identify toughest problem statement. Identify best of the agency and try to crack it. And if you can crack it, then your first hurdle will get passed very, very easily. Okay? So these are very important considerations when you are giving or when you are addressing your students, help them select great problem statements. Then, when it comes to team formations, a large number of students are going to come to you and ask questions related to team formation. Currently, for higher education, we are recommending team of 6 students plus 2 mentors. And amongst these 6 students, we also want to have one girl. So one girl is mandatory per team. But it is fine if we have all 6 girls, because we want to ensure that girls get promoted when it comes to technology, when it comes to innovation, ideation, product development. We owe it to them. So one girl is mandatory per team. But usually, based on our experience, if you only select one girl, sometimes she has difficulties in traveling alone with 5 other male friends. So have 2 girls in your team so that she also has a company, you know, because you will be going physically to different locations across the country. This Smart India Hackathon is going to give opportunity to our students to travel across the country as we used to do earlier. It's not going to be a virtual hackathon. It's going to be a physical, actual hackathon. So encourage your students to have 2 females in their team so that she has a companion. But one girl is mandatory. Okay? Then each team can have 2 mentors. One mentor could be from industry, and one mentor could be from academia. If we have students who are saying we will have both the mentors from industry or both the mentors from academia, we are fine with it. But ideally, we would like to have one mentor from industry and one mentor from academia. So, before we proceed forward, let me revise again in nutshell. Senior faculty can only become SPOC. Students and others are not allowed. SPOC should register on our portal along with uploading or by uploading the scan authorization letter, which will be validated by our team and which will be then approved. Once approved, you become our SPOC. Once you get approved by SPOC, you should go ahead and organize under your leadership internal hackathon. After the internal hackathon is done, you collect the data for all the internal hackathon. Once the internal hackathon is done, you select 10 teams which will get direct entry and 5 waitlist teams. Once you have done that, you get all the data ready. And on 10th of March or after 10th of March, you should ask teams to go ahead and register on our portal and start submitting ideas. The templates for idea submission and everything will be available to the leader once he registers. It's all there inbuilt in the system. So you will get it, or your students will get it. So it's a very important role which I am talking about. Then, as I said earlier, for each PS, we are allowing only 125 entries. So after 125 entries, that problem statement will get freezed. It will not take any more ideas. So, and it's on first come, first serve basis. So try cracking problem statements which are difficult. so that you are sure that they will not get 125. But you cannot wait till the last day for submission of ideas. Okay? Because on last day, majority of the systems, our systems get so much traffic that many times they go down. We have huge amount of headache maintaining because large number of people are uploading their files, they are registering. I don't know what is there in this country, but everyone wants to register on the last day and majority on the last hour. So please avoid that. Okay? That is very, very critical. When it comes to schools, as I said, SPOC is optional. It's not mandatory. But still we encourage our students or our schools to go ahead and register a SPOC. So it's easy for us to go ahead and communicate. Again, here we will require a senior teacher to become SPOC. As Smart India Hackathon 2022 is allowing entries from schools for the first time, we are lenient towards schools. Okay? So we don't want schools to do an internal hackathon. We don't want those schools to do an internal hackathon. But through some selection process, you can nominate 10 teams in student innovation category. There is a very specific category for school student, which we are calling as student innovation category. And you can nominate 10 teams in this category. So we don't want school students to actually go ahead and attack the problems which we have listed. But we want school students to come up with new ideas, what they have thought, what they have seen, some projects which they might have done, and they can go ahead and submit those ideas in student innovation category. If a school student, is keen on solving the problem, which we have listed, it's fine, he can go ahead and do it. But the submission of that idea will go into student innovation category only. So it's not that we are not allowing students to solve the problems which we have listed, but the system which we have designed is to collect student innovation category, schools submissions separately and college submissions separately. And because schools are joining us for the first time, we are trying to keep the system for them as simple as possible. So even if you have an idea which has nothing to do with the problem statements, or if you have an idea which can actually solve a problem statement, which we have given, both of them go as a part of student innovation category. So this is where we are. So for higher educational institutes, 10 teams plus 5 teams waitlist. For schools, only 10 teams are allowed in total. No waitlist, nothing of that sort we are going to allow. And all the submissions for ideas start from 10th of March. So start working on your ideas. Encourage your students to work on their ideas so that submission happens before the actual deadline. And the deadline for idea submission for Smart India Hackathon 2022 is 31st of March. Please remember this date very clearly. 31st of March is the deadline for submission of ideas for schools as well as for colleges. Okay? And for colleges, we will only consider ideas which have been approved by SPOC. If students go ahead and submit ideas which are not approved by our SPOCs, we are not going to consider. So the role of SPOC is extremely important. And that is the reason we are doing multiple sessions to address these queries of SPOC. Because without your support, without your participation, we will not able to make Smart India Hackathon the grand success which we always aim to do. So let's join hands, let's work together, and let's build this open innovation model, which has now evolved as world's biggest open innovation model, and make it even bigger. So thank you very much, Shubham. If there are any queries, I will be more than happy to take the queries. And if I have missed any point while in this talk, you can actually suggest and you can point out that, and I will elaborate on any of the portion which I have missed.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for this insight information. The information is very useful as point of the SPOCs. However, so there are a few questions related to this. Like, is the internal hackathon, as we have less than 10 teams in our institute that will participate in the hackathon, can we directly submit our teams?
See, yes, you can if there are more than 10 teams, but we would still want SPOCs to go ahead, look at those ideas, check whether they are really worth submitting or not. Okay? Please help us avoid getting junk into our system. Okay?
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
okay. And one more question
so,
is,
what you should do, ideally motivate your students to think, tackle the problem so that, and enough large number of students so that you have enough teams to conduct an internal hackathon. If you don't have enough students, if you don't have 10, even 10 teams to nominate, we will request you to have a one-day session, look at all those ideas very, very clearly, check whether they are really worth submitting, and if they are good, then only submit those ideas. I hope I am clear in this.
yeah, yes, sir, clear, sir. And is this internal hackathon, can a college or a school, can a college can conduct online, or it should be in the offline format only?
No, they can conduct online. That should not be a problem. Currently, because some of the schools have not opened up or semi-opened, colleges are also in the process of opening. So ideally, if a 36 hours hackathon can be done internal, that will be great. It is going to be a practice session for students. You know, it's always like before we go for our board exams, we always have prelims, right? So that's a good part. But even if you cannot organize an offline event or a physical event, you can go ahead with an online event. Okay, so do it. We don't care whether you do it online or offline. Just we want you to do it and submit us all the data that you have done it. Okay, to show that you have done it.
Okay, so we have a institute with the directorate, and he has affiliated with the Directorate General of Training. So it's an actually ITI college, and he don't have the IC code. So can he participate? Can the college can
Yes,
participate?
yes, yes, yes. He can participate. Let's look into which code they can use. Okay, or in our system, let's add an ITI. section.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Okay? If we are allowing schools to participate, then why not allow ITIs to participate?
Yeah. And sir,
Yeah.
please, can you please clarify whether the deadline for the internal hackathon is 10th March or the 31st March? Or
No,
it is like
you
10th
can do
March
whatever
idea
you
submission?
want. Our deadline is 31st of March for submission of ideas. So we need to have all the data from you before 31st of March. We are recommending that you finish the entire process before 10th of March so that you get enough time to upload your ideas. Okay? But our deadline, our system will close on 31st of March. So you can do your internal hackathon on 15th of March. I don't care. You can do that. And then you can start submitting. But then there will be pressure on you because the systems, there will be a lot of people trying to log the systems may get slow, and so on and so forth. Our systems will open for idea submission on 10th of March. Okay? So before that, you try finish in as many steps as possible.
Sounds good. Sir, and could you please clarify me whether there is any limit for nominating the hardware or the software teams in this internal hackathon?
So
Like,
that's what we have said, not 10 plus 5.
so is it compulsory to submit like the 5 hardware teams and 5 software team,
No,
or is there
nothing.
any
I think
criteria?
if I understand correctly, we don't have that, na?
Yeah, right, sir, exactly.
We don't have any of that segregation or bifurcation.
So they can submit any teams in the hardware and the software category.
Yes.
Can a PhD student participate in this hackathon?
Perfectly,
Also, can the
yes.
team be composed of
You're a
members
student.
from institute?
You're a student, research scholars, PhD students, MTech students, MAE students, all can participate. For us, they're all students.
That's it, sir. I guess we have covered all the things, all the doubts from the SPOC's perspective. Uh,
So currently, how many SPOCs have registered?
so more than 500, sir.
More than 500 SPOCs have already registered, right?
Exactly, sir.
So it means, so last year we had participation, or last time we had participation from more than 2,000 institutions, higher educational
Correct.
institutions. So till 1,500 needs to register at least, right? And we have to go
That is
beyond that,
correct, sir.
right? Huh?
Yeah, right, sir.
So, my dear friends, please expedite. Please register as soon as possible. So we have all our details. There is no last minute pressure on my team to approve SPOCs because, see, approving takes time. So you don't waste your time. And then you will start calling us. कि हमको approve करो, हमको approve करो. Okay? And that time we are going to actually give you a pushback. We are going to get mad at you. That why you waited till the last moment. So do it fast. So it becomes easy for my team. People like Shubham who are working with me, they work till late night because it takes time to see the letter, to go through the letter, to check whether it's an authentic letter. It takes time. So don't waste unnecessary time. At least go ahead and register as SPOC. Talk to your principal, talk to your director, talk to your management, and get that nomination done.
Thank you, sir. Because if they hurry, after that they can the teams can submit the ideas. So it's a win-win situation for the SPOCs or as well as for the teams to hurry up and register themselves. Thank you, sir. I guess we have covered all the doubts here, and we can just wrap this discussion here.
Yeah, and
Thank you so much.
we can again have another session maybe sometime next week where we can address doubts of potential participants.
Correct, sir. Correct, sir. We
Okay.
have a
So
series
we
of
go ahead
sessions.
and make those announcements also for potential participants. Okay. What is the process? Again, because there are a lot of people who will have same questions, similar questions,
Correct, sir.
Okay.
And
So
we will
let's,
put this video on the FAQ sessions as well for the
yeah,
SPOCs, as we
right,
have done the previous discussion over the for the FAQs. So
right.
that's it, sir. Thank
Okay.
you, sir.
And
Thank you
make
for your precious
announcement,
time.
put out the banner for maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow, put out the banner for next week session
Sure,
also.
sir. Sure, sir.
Okay.
Thank you first, sir. Thank you for your precious time to solve all the queries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Shubham. Thank you, Sarim, who is will certainly there. Then your entire team, Arindam, and my friend Mohit for actually championing this initiative and trying to make it bigger and bigger every year. It is simply not possible without your support that we can organize this initiative so successfully. So we need to thank ministry, we need to thank AICT for all the support which they are offering so that we actually can kickstart this big movement of innovation within our country. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Jai
Jai
Hind.
Hind.